As dusk descends, a young boy, Pip, stands solitary amidst the weathered tombstones, a small figure against the looming silence. The wind whispers through the graveyard, carrying the scent of damp earth and forgotten memories. Marshlands stretch into the distance, their bleak expanse mirroring the emptiness in Pip's eyes. Shadows lengthen, twisting familiar shapes into eerie silhouettes that dance around the solemn stones. A lonely crow calls out from a gnarled tree, its cry echoing through the desolate scene, amplifying the sense of isolation. Pip clutches something tightly in his hand, a small defiant gesture against the encroaching darkness and the mournful wind. In a desolate graveyard, a fearsome convict, Magwitch, emerges from the shadows of a weathered tombstone. Magwitch, wild-eyed and clad in tattered rags, seizes young Pip with surprising force. Pip is startled by the sudden attack. Magwitch's desperate grip tightens, his haunted gaze locking onto Pip. In the desolate graveyard, Magwitch, a fearsome convict, emerges from the shadows, his presence a looming threat. Magwitch grabs Pip roughly, his weathered hands like iron clamps on the boy's fragile frame. His eyes burn with desperate intensity, reflecting a raw, untamed hunger and a will to survive. A chilling demand cuts through the stillness. "You bring me food, boy." The convict's grip tightens, his voice a low growl, a command that brooks no argument. "And a file. Understand?" Magwitch's words hang in the air, a dark pact sealed in the silence of the graveyard. Moonlight paints the room in long shadows as Pip tiptoes through the night, his heart pounding in the quiet. He snatches a hunk of bread and a file from the table, his movements swift and furtive in the dim light. His eyes dart to his sister, lost in slumber, and Joe, snoring softly beside her, oblivious to the theft. Guilt flickers across Pip's face, a brief battle waged in the moonlight before resolve hardens his features. He steels himself, the weight of his actions settling upon his young shoulders as he continues his secret task. Pale dawn breaks over the desolate marshes, casting long shadows across the still waters and revealing an unforgiving landscape. Pip, breathless, extends a trembling hand, offering meager food and a worn file to the figure lurking in the reeds. Magwitch's eyes gleam with a desperate, animalistic hunger as he snatches the offered sustenance. With feverish intensity, Magwitch tears into the food, devouring each morsel as if it were his last, his salvation. Gratitude floods his weathered face, a stark contrast to the harshness of his surroundings and the desperation in his eyes. The marshes bear witness to this silent exchange, a fragile bond forged in hunger and desperation against the backdrop of dawn. Dust devils swirl across the desolate marshes, the parched earth stretching endlessly under the harsh sun. Red-coated soldiers strain to contain the raw violence erupting between two desperate convicts. Magwitch, a mountain of a man, unleashes a ferocious punch, fueled by years of rage and despair. His opponent, gaunt and scarred, counters with a feral snarl, a desperate animal cornered and fighting back. The air crackles with animosity, a brutal dance of survival played out under the uncaring gaze of the vast sky. Pip, eyes wide with nervous curiosity, steps into the dimly lit foyer of Satis House, where shadows dance with dust. The air hangs heavy with the scent of decay, a silent testament to time's relentless passage. A faint rustling of fabric whispers from the depths of the manor, beckoning and foreboding. He shuffles his feet hesitantly, each step echoing in the oppressive silence of the manor. Deeper into the manor he is led, where secrets and shadows intertwine. In her decaying bridal gown, Miss Havisham is a ghost amidst faded grandeur. Her eyes, sharp and knowing, follow Pip and Estella. A subtle gesture, a silent command, she orchestrates their dance. Estella moves with cold grace, a puppet on Havisham's string. Pip watches Estella, his heart vulnerable in the decaying manor. Miss Havisham observes, a puppeteer reveling in her twisted game. In Miss Havisham's dim manor, Estella's piercing gaze intensifies, scrutinizing Pip with cold detachment. A wave of shame washes over Pip, his discomfort growing under Estella's dismissive stare. "Look at your hands, how coarse!" Estella's words cut through the silence, each syllable laced with disdain. Her disdainful tone deepens as she adds, "And those boots, simply common." Pip's face flushes crimson, the sting of Estella's words burning deep within him. In the village, Pip stands beside Joe at the forge, sweat beading on his forehead. The rhythmic clang of hammer against metal fills the air as Pip shapes the iron. Pip's strong arms work the bellows, stoking the flames, his brow furrowed in concentration. Though he dutifully assists Joe, his gaze drifts towards the distant hills. A subtle longing flickers in Pip's eyes as he dreams of lands far beyond the village. The distant hills beckon, promising adventure and escape from his mundane life. Flickering firelight dances across Pip's face as he sits, a humble figure amidst the shadows, diligently mending fishing nets. Mr. Jaggers, a stern lawyer with a severe gaze, enters Pip's humble home, the weight of his briefcase mirroring his grave demeanor. The fire crackles softly, casting an eerie glow as Mr. Jaggers prepares to deliver life-altering news to the young boy. Mr. Jaggers' voice cuts through the silence. "Pip, I bring news of a great fortune that has come your way." The lawyer's words hang in the air, an unexpected twist of fate about to change Pip's destiny forever. "You are to be educated as a gentleman in London," Mr. Jaggers declares, his words painting a vivid picture of Pip's future. Pip sits by the window, a faint smile gracing his lips as he gazes out at the misty fields, lost in his thoughts. He believes Miss Havisham is his benefactor, imagining she intends for him to marry Estella. The fire crackles in the hearth, casting dancing shadows, indifferent to Pip's delusion. Oblivious, Pip dreams of a future intertwined with Estella, under Miss Havisham's guiding hand. At the village's edge, Pip stands poised for departure, a small bag hinting at the journey ahead. He waves a bittersweet goodbye to Joe and Biddy, their figures shrinking against the vast horizon. Excitement dances in Pip's eyes, a spark of adventure igniting his youthful spirit. Yet, a shadow of guilt darkens his gaze, a silent acknowledgement of what he leaves behind. His conflicted expression mirrors the internal battle between ambition and loyalty. The village fades behind him as Pip steps forward into an uncertain future. Inside the rumbling coach, Pip stares out at the blur of the English countryside, a tapestry of green and gold rushing past. Anticipation and nervousness war within him as London draws closer. A city of dreams and unknown challenges. His knuckles whiten as he clutches his worn leather bag, a silent testament to his humble origins. Each bump of the coach sends a jolt through Pip, a physical reminder of the momentous journey. He leans forward, eyes wide, as if trying to catch a glimpse of the future in the fleeting landscape. The rhythmic clatter of the wheels becomes a drum beat, urging him onward to his uncertain destiny. Pip steps into Mr. Jagger's office, the air thick with unspoken legal secrets. The imposing room is filled with stacks of legal documents, symbols of power and hidden agendas. Each document seems to whisper tales of fortunes gained and lives altered within these walls. The sheer volume of paperwork hints at the complex web of lives Mr. Jaggers controls. Pip arrives at Barnard's Inn, his new London lodgings, its weathered facade hinting at neglect. The inn's run-down exterior reflects the grim realities of Pip's newfound independence. He steps inside, the shared space revealing signs of Herbert Pocket's presence. The air is thick with anticipation as Pip settles into his new, humble abode. In the dimly lit Barnard's Inn, Herbert Pocket initiates Pip into the subtle arts of gentlemanly conduct. Herbert gently corrects Pip's posture, straightening his slouch with a cheerful smile. With patient demonstration, Herbert refines Pip's grip on the silverware, guiding him towards elegance. Scattered books and papers hint at a world of learning as Pip absorbs each lesson with earnest attention. Sunlight floods Mr. Pocket's study, where Pip and other young gentlemen are absorbed in their lessons at a grand mahogany desk. Mr. Pocket, dishevelled yet brilliant, paces energetically, his lecture filling the room with passion. Dust motes dance in the sunbeams, catching the light and creating an ethereal glow around the students. Each student is lost in thought, their expressions a mix of concentration and dawning understanding. The polished surfaces of the room gleam, reflecting the bright daylight and the promise of knowledge. Inside Mr. Jagger's London office, Pip observes the formidable lawyer, a sense of unease settling in. Jagger's presence is commanding, his eyes sharp and perceptive, assessing Pip with a calculating gaze. The office reflects Jagger's authority, every detail meticulously arranged, exuding power and control. Pip feels the weight of Jagger's scrutiny, an unspoken challenge hanging in the air. The room is silent, save for the faint ticking of a clock, each second amplifying the tension. Jaggers leans back, a subtle smirk playing on his lips, hinting at the games to come. Rows of red velvet seats fade into darkness, the opulent theatre alive with vibrant colours and dramatic lighting. Pip, overdressed, sits beside Herbert, who is lost in the spectacle of the performance. A slight frown creases Pip's brow as his gaze wanders, hinting at a deep unease. His eyes scan the theatre's grandeur, a sense of displacement clouding his features. The stage unfolds, but Pip remains detached, his mind elsewhere amidst the unfolding drama. Soft light bathes the gentlemen's club, illuminating the polished mahogany and plush velvet. The air hangs heavy with the aroma of aged whiskey and fine cigars, a sensory indulgence. Pip reclines in a leather armchair, an amber liquid swirling in his glass, a picture of contentment. A waiter appears, bearing a silver platter of delicacies, a silent offering of luxury. With a subtle nod, Pip dismisses the waiter, his gaze never leaving the opulent surroundings. A satisfied smirk plays on Pip's lips as he surveys his domain, a master in his element. Pip navigates the crowded London streets, a lone figure amidst the ceaseless flow of humanity. Grand buildings cast long shadows on the grimy sidewalks, a stark display of wealth and poverty. His eyes dart from opulent displays to the desperate faces, a silent observer of the city's duality. The city's clamour, a symphony of ambition and despair, echoes around him as he walks on. Pip enters Miss Havisham's manor, where dust motes dance in the dim light, hinting at years of neglect and secrets. The air hangs heavy with the scent of decay, a ghostly reminder of forgotten memories. Miss Havisham sits motionless in her decaying bridal dress, a haunting figure amidst the decaying grandeur. Her stillness amplifies the silence, broken only by the soft whispers of the wind through grimy windows. Estella enters the manor, her beauty sharper, more defined than before, immediately drawing every eye. Her eyes scan the room, observing everything from behind an invisible wall, never truly connecting. Her perfect posture and graceful movements amplify her untouchable aura, keeping everyone at bay. She is aware of the distance between herself and everything. A silent declaration of her isolation. Each step is measured, deliberate, as if she's navigating a stage set apart from the real world. In Miss Havisham's decaying manor, Pip stands, his heart vulnerable before Estella. The manor's grandeur mirrors the shattered dreams echoing in the silent halls. Pip's voice trembles as he confesses, "Estella, I love you." Estella's cold gaze meets his, her words sharp. "I have no heart to give." Her pronouncement hangs heavy in the air, a final blow to Pip's hopes. The manor's shadows deepen, sealing their tragic fate within its crumbling walls. Sunlight streams into Mr. Jagger's office, illuminating swirling dust motes and casting long shadows. Pip sits tensely, dwarfed by the imposing leather chair where Mr. Jaggers observes him with a calculating gaze. The room is a fortress of legal documents, the silence broken only by the rustle of paper. Mr. Jaggers gestures towards Molly, her presence a silent, watchful shadow in the corner. Molly's face is a map of untold stories, etched with a history that captivates and unsettles Pip. In the dim Barnard's Inn, stale ale and tobacco smoke hang heavy as Pip and Herbert sit across from each other, worry etched deep. Empty plates and half-empty glasses clutter the scarred table, mirroring their unease. Pip leans forward, his voice hushed with concern. "We're spending far too much. I'm drowning in debt." Herbert returns Pip's gaze, a mirror of shared anxiety reflecting in his eyes. Herbert confesses, his tone laced with frustration. "You're not alone, Pip." "It seems the more we earn, the more we spend," Herbert says, a desperate plea echoing in the dimly lit room. Cobbled London streets gleam under gaslight, a maze of shadows stretching into the night. I walk briskly, the chill air sharp against my skin, a solitary figure in the urban expanse. Wemmick emerges from the shadows, his guarded face unexpectedly relaxed and jovial. He gestures expansively, a stark contrast to his usual professional demeanour. Wemmick proudly leads Pip into his Walworth home, a whimsical castle cottage amidst ordinary houses. Inside, the cosy space overflows with quirky contraptions and collected oddities, bathed in warm firelight. Wemmick beams, gesturing around the room, his face alight with pride and contentment. He cares for his aged parent here, a deaf old man who finds joy in being read to. Pip returns to his village, the familiar sight of the Blue Boar pub greeting him with memories. A wave of superiority washes over Pip as he takes in his former surroundings, now seeming so small. The once charming village now appears quaint and unremarkable through Pip's changed eyes. He stands at the entrance of the Blue Boar, a silent observer of a life he has seemingly outgrown. Dust swirls around Pip as he walks the road to Joe's. The village sights seeming faded and small, he pauses at the gate. A knot tightening in his stomach, a sense of disconnection washing over him. The air hangs heavy, thick with unspoken words and unresolved emotions. The familiar road stretches before him, yet it feels alien, a path leading away from his past. Each step is heavy with the weight of change and the uncertainty of what lies ahead. His shadow lengthens, a stark reminder of the distance growing between him and his former life. Sunlight pierces the gloom of Miss Havisham's decaying manor, dust motes swirling in the air. Pip stands before Miss Havisham, her spectral figure draped in aged wedding finery. "I must know, Miss Havisham, if you intend for Estella and I," Pip asks, hope and trepidation in his eyes. "Love her, love her, love her," Miss Havisham cries. "If she tears your heart to pieces, love her, love her, love her." Dust motes dance in the stagnant air of Miss Havisham's manor, heavy with the scent of decay and lost dreams. Miss Havisham, a ghostly bride, watches Estella with a morbid hunger, her eyes hollow and gleaming. Estella stands statuesque, her beauty cold and sharp, a weapon forged in bitterness and neglect. A tremor runs through Miss Havisham's skeletal hand as she commands, her voice a raspy whisper. "Break his heart, Estella, break it." The unspoken presence of Pip hangs in the air, a silent victim in Miss Havisham's twisted game of revenge. Inside Barnard's Inn, shadows dance in the flickering lamplight, casting an eerie glow across the cramped room. Pip sits alone, absorbed in his book, a subtle hint of boredom etched upon his youthful face. Suddenly, the door bursts open with violent force, shattering the quiet stillness of the night. Magwitch storms in, weathered and imposing, a figure of raw strength and untamed intensity. His eyes gleam with an unsettling light, piercing through the shadows as he surveys the room. The air crackles with unspoken tension as Magwitch's presence dominates the small space. Inside Barnard's Inn, Pip sits frozen, the weight of a shocking revelation crushing his spirit. His face, a canvas of disbelief and disgust, reflects the shattered remnants of his once bright hopes. Silence descends, thick and suffocating, amplifying the unspoken truth that now defines his world. Each shadow in the room seems to deepen, mirroring the growing despair in Pip's eyes. The air hangs heavy, pregnant with the realization that everything Pip believed has been irrevocably altered. Inside Barnard's Inn, Magwitch, a man etched by time, begins to unfold his past to Pip. His eyes, sharp and knowing, reflect years of hardship and resilience. "It all started when I was transported to Australia," Magwitch recounts, his voice gravelly with memory. He speaks of a distant land, a new beginning born from exile and toil. Each word paints a vivid picture of his journey, from desperation to unexpected fortune. The inn fades as Magwitch's tale transports them to the sun-baked landscapes of Australia. Flickering candlelight dances across the worn common room of Barnard's Inn, casting long, dancing shadows that mirror inner turmoil. The laughter of other patrons fades into a distant echo, a stark contrast to the storm brewing within. A half-empty glass sits on the table, its contents swirling like the protagonist's troubled thoughts. The bitter truth dawns. Estella is beyond reach, a painful realization washing over him. Illusions shatter, leaving him exposed and vulnerable in the cold light of reality. The path ahead is shrouded in mist, revealing the mirage he has been desperately chasing. Pip enters Mr. Jagger's dimly lit office, the air thick with the scent of old paper and secrets. Bookshelves stretch into shadows, their ancient legal tomes silent witnesses. Dust motes dance in the faint sunlight, each speck a forgotten moment. Mr. Jaggers sits behind his mahogany desk, an impassive mask concealing his thoughts. Pip stands nervously, his voice barely a whisper, as he asks, "Mr. Jaggers, I need to know about Magwitch." Mr. Jaggers sits, a stern sentinel behind his imposing desk. His gaze, intense and unwavering, locks onto Pip. Unspoken tension fills the opulent, shadowy office. He leans forward, a predator about to strike. The air crackles with the weight of untold secrets. "Estella is the daughter of Magwitch and Molly," he declares, the revelation hanging heavy. Inside Barnard's Inn, dim light casts long shadows, the air heavy with the scent of damp wood and hushed secrets. Pip and Herbert huddle in the gloom, their faces illuminated by the faint light, etched with worry. A tattered map sprawls between them, its worn edges whispering tales of perilous journeys. Fingers trace routes across the faded parchment, each line a step closer to Magwitch's desperate escape. Unspoken tension hangs thick in the air, a silent acknowledgement of the risks they are about to undertake. The escape plan unfolds in the dim light, each detail meticulously laid out against the backdrop of uncertainty. Beneath a starless sky, frantic figures work on a small boat, its hull gently nudging against weathered pilings. The air hangs heavy with the briny tang of the Thames, a stark contrast to the sweet scent of aged wood. Dockside lamps cast long, dancing shadows, their light painting a scene of clandestine urgency. Pip, Herbert, and Startop move with purpose, their faces shadowed by determination and anxiety. The distant cries of seagulls echo through the darkness, adding to the dock's unsettling atmosphere. Final preparations are made, each action a silent vow cast into the vast, indifferent night. The inn's common room flickers with firelight, casting long shadows on worried faces. Biddy lies pale on a makeshift bed, her bruised face a stark testament to recent violence. Joe sits vigilantly by Biddy's side, his gaze filled with protective concern. Pip stands at the foot of the bed, his face etched with a palpable mix of guilt and helplessness. In a small boat amidst the marshes, Pip and Herbert row with clumsy determination, their efforts mirrored in the still, grey water. The marshland stretches, flat and endless, beneath a pale sky, the damp air thick with the scent of water and rustling reeds. Each stroke is a testament to their resolve, pushing against the quiet resistance of the river. The world around them is muted, yet their small boat cuts a path of vibrant life through the stillness. Dim candlelight flickers across the common room, casting shadows on rough tables and worn floors. Pip sits opposite Magwitch, an open book between them in the dimly lit room. Pip reads aloud, his brow furrowed in concentration under the flickering light. Magwitch listens intently, his weathered face etched with curiosity and discomfort. The air is thick with stale ale and damp wool, filling the dimly lit common room. The hustle of London streets swallows Pip as he walks, seemingly lost in thought. Unseen, Compeyson lurks in the shadows, a gaunt figure tailing Pip with predatory focus. Compeyson's eyes, dark and intense, remain fixed on Pip's every unsuspecting move. He maintains a discreet distance, a silent promise of danger hanging in the busy air. The crowded streets offer both anonymity and the looming threat of discovery. Dust motes dance in the sunlit office of Mr. Jaggers, illuminating stacks of legal documents and casting long shadows. Pip stands nervously, awaiting judgment from the imposing Mr. Jaggers, who observes him with a sharp, unreadable gaze. Pip seeks guidance, a lifeline in the swirling currents of his expectations, says the narration. But Jaggers remains an enigma, a fortress of guarded pronouncements, the narration adds, deepening the mystery. Dim light casts long shadows across Wemmick's castle-like cottage, hinting at the unusual world within. Pip nervously adjusts his coat, a stark contrast to the whimsical setting as he steps inside. Miniature cannons and stuffed birds fill the room, a bizarre collection reflecting Wemmick's eccentric nature. Wemmick, ever the attentive host, gestures towards a seat, his eyes twinkling with amusement. Curiosities abound, hinting at a life lived outside the rigid confines of the legal world. On the inky black river, a small boat slices through the water, its passage a desperate escape into the night. Pip rows with frantic energy, his face bathed in the pale moonlight, a beacon of determination in the darkness. Herbert sits tensely, his gaze darting across the shadowy riverbanks, searching for unseen threats. Startop's strong, precise movements propel the boat forward, a silent promise of relentless progress. Magwitch, weathered and resolute, stares into the distance, his eyes fixed on a horizon that promises freedom. Each stroke of the oars echoes the hope and fear that drive them deeper into the heart of the night. At the river's edge, Compeyson's sudden appearance shatters the calm, his face twisted with rage. He confronts Magwitch, sparking a brutal fight that sends them both tumbling into the murky depths. The river erupts in chaos as they grapple, a desperate struggle for survival in the cold water. Briefly, they vanish beneath the surface, the dark water swallowing their conflict whole. Gasping, they resurface, the fight for dominance far from over as the river carries them. Each splash echoes their desperation, a grim ballet of vengeance and survival in the unforgiving river. In the murky river, Magwitch and Compeyson engage in a fierce struggle, their bodies churning the water into a frenzy. Magwitch, fueled by raw strength, gains the upper hand, forcing Compeyson beneath the surface. Compeyson's desperate resistance fades as the river claims him, his struggles growing weaker with each passing moment. Silence descends upon the river as Compeyson drowns, the murky waters concealing the grim finality of his fate. By the riverbank, Magwitch lies gravely wounded, his strength fading with each breath. Police swarm the muddy banks, their figures stark against the serene backdrop of the river. With grim efficiency, the officers take the defeated Magwitch into custody. The river flows on, indifferent to the drama that has just unfolded on its banks. Pip walks into the dimly lit prison hospital, where the scent of disinfectant mixes with the heavy air of despair. Rows of beds host pale figures, each grappling with their own mortality in the sterile prison ward. The weight of regret and affection pulls Pip towards Magwitch's bedside. Each laboured breath from Magwitch echoes in the tense silence, amplifying Pip's internal turmoil. The sombre atmosphere casts a long shadow as Pip confronts the dying man. In the dimly lit prison hospital, shadows cling to the pale walls as Pip leans close to Magwitch. Pip's voice, strained and hushed, fills the sterile air with a long-held secret. Magwitch, your daughter, Estella, she's alive. She's, well, Pip reveals, his gaze intense. A raw confession escapes him. And I love her. Echoing in the confined space. In the stark prison hospital, Magwitch lies still, his breath shallow, a faint smile gracing his weathered lips. The harsh fluorescent lights soften, casting a forgiving glow on his face as peace settles over him. His eyes close gently, a final acceptance washing away the years of hardship and struggle. The room is quiet, filled only with the soft, rhythmic sound of his breathing as life slowly ebbs away. In a dimly lit room, Pip lies in bed, his face pale and drawn, each breath a shallow struggle. Joe sits vigil, his weathered face etched with worry as he watches over Pip, a silent guardian. With gentle hands, Joe soothes Pip's fevered brow with a cool, damp cloth, a tender act of care. The room is filled with a heavy silence, broken only by Pip's laboured breathing and Joe's quiet concern. The soft light casts long shadows, highlighting the stark reality of Pip's weakened state and Joe's unwavering support. In the dimly lit lodgings, Joe sits vigil, his brow furrowed with concern as he watches over Pip. With gentle hands, Joe dabs Pip's forehead with a cool cloth, his touch tender and full of care. Pip coughs weakly, a fragile sound in the quiet room, stirring Joe to offer a comforting sip of water. The fire casts dancing shadows on the walls, creating a haven of warmth and safety amidst the sick room's gloom. Joe's large hand is steady as he holds the cup, his eyes reflecting deep, unwavering affection for Pip. The room is filled with unspoken love and quiet worry, a silent testament to their bond. In Pip's meagre lodgings, flames dance in the hearth, casting flickering shadows across his thoughtful face. The weight of Joe's kindness settles upon Pip, a heavy cloak of guilt and regret. Pip runs a hand through his hair, the coarse strands mirroring his deepening shame. Memories flood back, disdain, snobbish aspirations, and mistreatment of his only supporter. Each memory is a sharp knife twisting in Pip's gut, a stark reminder of his failings. The fire crackles, a silent witness to Pip's internal torment and growing self-awareness. Pip and Joe return to the familiar site of their village, the humble dwellings casting long shadows under the afternoon sun. A wave of humility washes over Pip as he steps onto the worn path, the simple life of the village, a stark contrast to his past. Gratitude fills Pip's eyes as he observes the villagers going about their daily routines, their faces etched with resilience. The familiar sounds of the village laughter, distant chatter, and the clatter of tools embrace Pip, a comforting symphony. Pip's heart swells with a profound sense of belonging, the village a sanctuary of simple virtues and enduring connections. Sunlight bathes the forge as Joe works, sparks flying from the hammer's mighty blow. Pip watches, a silent observer of Joe's honest toil. The rhythmic clang of metal on metal echoes in the open air, Sweat glistens on Joe's brow as he shapes the glowing iron. Pip finds solace in the simple beauty of Joe's life. A sense of quiet admiration fills Pip as he watches Joe at the forge. Sunlight bathes the schoolhouse as Pip sits at his desk, an open book before him, his mind far away. Pip receives a letter. Biddy has married Joe. The narration recounts a pivotal moment unfolding. A gentle smile graces Pip's face as warmth floods his heart, genuine happiness washing over him. The ambition that once consumed him fades, replaced by contentment for Biddy and Joe's newfound joy. Under the vast sky of the village, Pip makes a weighty decision, his expression etched with determination. A heavy heart fuels Pip's desire, a silent promise to atone for past errors weighing on his spirit. The path ahead leads to Cairo, where Pip seeks employment with Herbert, a chance at redemption. Each step away from the village is a step toward confronting his past, a journey of self-reproach. His gaze is fixed on the distant horizon, a symbol of hope amidst the shadows of his former self. The weight of his decision settles upon his shoulders, a burden willingly carried in the pursuit of atonement. In Herbert's Cairo office, Pip is absorbed in his work, the soft glow of the desk lamp highlighting his intense concentration. The rustling of papers fills the air as Pip diligently completes each task, showcasing his commitment and responsibility. His brow furrows slightly as he reviews documents, a quiet determination etched onto his youthful face. Each action is precise, each decision made with careful thought, demonstrating his value to the firm. The office hums with quiet efficiency, a testament to Pip's unwavering dedication and strong work ethic. Pip wanders into Cairo's heart. Streets pulse with life under the relentless sun, shadows stretching like secrets. Vendors' calls rise, a symphony of commerce. Each stall bursts with vibrant colors, a feast for the eyes. Ancient architecture looms, intricate designs whispering tales of ages past. History etched in stone, the air thickens with spices, an intoxicating aroma that both overwhelms and exhilarates Pip's senses. Lost in wonder, Pip immerses himself, embracing the chaotic beauty of a culture reborn with each sunrise. In Herbert's Cairo home, a peaceful night unfolds, casting a gentle glow on the familiar setting. Pip shares laughter and stories. With Herbert and Clara, their faces illuminated by the warm light. The quiet evening deepens, a tableau of companionship and shared moments fills the air. A sense of contentment settles as the trio enjoys the simple joys of connection and camaraderie. Years later, Pip returns, the village stirring memories long buried. Before him stand the skeletal remains of Miss Havisham's manor, a haunting silhouette against the pale sky. Overgrown vines crawl like grasping fingers up the decaying stone walls, nature reclaiming lost grandeur. Shattered windows stare like empty eyes, watching, waiting, whispering secrets of the past. A chilling wind whispers through the desolate grounds, carrying echoes of broken dreams and faded love. Pip pauses before the imposing gates, weathered stone and creeping ivy hinting at years of neglect and secrets. He pushes open the gates, the sound echoing in the overgrown garden, a path into a forgotten world. Estella emerges from the shadows, her beauty tinged with sorrow, a ghost in the decaying landscape. Her mourning clothes are a stark contrast, a symbol of loss against the backdrop of the manor's decline. The weight of experience marks her face, a silent story etched in every line and shadow. Pip's gaze lingers, a mix of longing and recognition, as he confronts the woman she has become. Estella faces Miss Havisham's manor. The severe facade looms, a silent witness to years of heartbreak and hidden stories. Her harsh features soften, etched with a newfound compassion that reshapes her countenance. The coldness that once defined her melts away, revealing a core of warmth and empathy. A gentle light emanates from within, promising a future of healing and understanding. At Miss Havisham's manor, Pip and Estella confront each other, years of longing hanging in the air. Overgrown ivy clings to the ancient manor, whispering secrets in the gentle breeze. They pause, a moment of quiet reflection amidst the decaying grandeur. Their eyes meet, a silent exchange of unspoken words and hidden emotions. A flicker of understanding passes between them, a fragile bridge across years of separation. Under the fading light of dusk, Pip and Estella walk together into the silent graveyard. Hand in hand, they tread among the weathered stones, their steps echoing through the somber air. The graveyard whispers of their shared history, a silent testament to the bonds that tie them. An uncertain future stretches before them, as cold as the stone beneath their feet. Inside the courtroom, Jaggers stands tall, his presence immediately commanding attention. His sharp legal mind is evident in every word, cutting through the courtroom's tension. He expertly parries the prosecution's arguments, a master of legal strategy. His gestures are precise and deliberate, each movement adding weight to his defense. The courtroom watches, captivated by Jaggers' unwavering confidence and skill. He is a formidable force, his presence dominating the legal arena. Inside Wemmick's castle, light streams, illuminating a space filled with quirky charm and unexpected warmth. Wemmick, a figure etched with the harsh lines of experience, moves with surprising gentleness. His hardened exterior melts away, revealing a tender side as he cares for his aged parent. Each action is imbued with a deep affection, a silent testament to enduring family bonds. The scene glows with quiet intimacy, a sanctuary where vulnerability thrives amidst a fortress of solitude. Sunlight filters through the verdant canopy as Pip and Herbert stroll through the lively London park, their silhouettes dappled with light. Animated gestures punctuate their fervent discussion, their voices rising and falling with youthful ambition. The symphony of children's laughter and birdsong creates a lively backdrop to their unfolding dreams. Each shared glance cements their bond, their aspirations intertwined like the branches overhead. The park pulsates with life, mirroring the vibrant future they eagerly anticipate together. In the darkened theatre, rows of velvet seats fade into shadow, all eyes on the stage except for one. Pip sits motionless, his gaze fixed, but his mind elsewhere, lost in a maze of memory. The actors perform their drama, a stark contrast to the quiet storm raging within Pip. Regret and longing etch lines onto his face as the play unfolds, a distorted mirror to his life. Sunlight filters through the grimy windows of Barnard's Inn, illuminating dust motes swirling in the air. Pip scrubs at the worn surfaces, his brow furrowed in concentration, determined to bring a semblance of order to the humble room. He rearranges the meager furnishings, his movements precise and deliberate, striving for a more welcoming atmosphere. The worn surfaces gleam faintly under Pip's efforts, reflecting his dedication. Each small act of cleaning is a testament to Pip's resolve to make the inn a haven. The humble room begins to reflect Pip's earnestness. At London docks, the air is thick with the scent of salt and tar as Pip watches the bustling scene. Cranes hoist heavy cargo, and sailors shout orders amidst the creaking of massive ships. The scene is filled with the flurry of activity, a stark contrast to Pip's inner turmoil. Pip's mind is consumed by thoughts of Magwitch's arduous journey. Sunlight paints dust motes gold in a London coffee shop, the rich aroma of roasted beans filling the air. Pip, in a slightly worn suit, listens intently, his expression thoughtful amid the cafe's gentle bustle. Herbert gestures emphatically with a half-eaten croissant, his words animated and engaging. Warm sunlight bathes the scene in a comforting glow, highlighting the subtle tensions of their meeting. Under the dim London streetlights, Pip walks alone, a solitary silhouette against the night. Damp cobblestones mirror the city's muted glow, each footstep echoing in the stillness. He pauses, the sound of the city fading as he looks up toward the towering structures above. Lost in thought, his gaze lingers on the buildings, contemplating London's endless mysteries. The city's luminescence casts long shadows, enveloping Pip in a pensive silence. Sunlight floods the London Library, illuminating countless aged books, each holding untold stories and secrets. Pip sits immersed at a grand oak table, a fortress of knowledge built around him with towering stacks of books. His brow furrows in intense concentration, each line of text a puzzle he's determined to solve. With focused eyes, he turns a page, absorbing the ancient wisdom as if his very soul depends on it. Pip escapes London, seeking solace in the serene countryside. He inhales deeply, the crisp, clean air, a stark contrast to the city's fumes. Sunlight bathes the rolling hills, a tranquil panorama unfolding before him. A gentle breeze whispers through the fields, carrying scents of wildflowers. Finding respite from urban life, Pip embraces the countryside's quiet charm. Inside the dimly lit forge, Joe stands resolute, sweat beading on his forehead as he stares into the heart of the fiery furnace. With focused intensity, he pulls the red-hot metal from the flames, the air shimmering with heat. The rhythmic clang of the hammer echoes through the forge as Joe shapes the metal on the anvil, sparks flying. Each strike is precise, a testament to years of toil and skill, the metal bending to his will. Joe pauses, wiping his brow, the finished piece gleaming in the forge's light, a symbol of his honest labor. Sunlight floods the schoolhouse, illuminating eager faces turned towards Biddy, standing tall with a book in her hands. Dust motes dance in the golden rays as Biddy prepares to read, her presence commanding the small space. Her voice, resonating with the wisdom of ages, fills the room, each word a beacon for the young mind. Biddy's hopes soar as she reads, aiming to ignite inspiration and curiosity in the hearts of her students. Under the bright sun, the village awakens. Life unfolds at a gentle pace, villagers engaged in time-honored routines. Children's laughter echoes through the square, a stark contrast to London's relentless hustle. Smoke rises lazily from chimneys, carrying the scent of hearth fires and home. In the distance, fields stretch out like a green tapestry, promising a bountiful harvest. A sense of peace settles over the village, a world away from the city's clamour and haste. Sunlight floods the church through stained glass, painting the air with vibrant colours and illuminating Pip as he sits in a pew. Dust motes dance in the golden light, a silent ballet in the sacred space. Pip sits, head bowed, lost in contemplation, his face etched with quiet determination. He seeks solace within the church's familiar embrace, a sanctuary for his spiritual journey. A faint sense of hope flickers across his features, as if he's on the verge of a profound realization. The silence of the church amplifies his inner thoughts, guiding him towards resolution. Dusk paints the desolate marshes in long shadows, a chill wind sighing through the reeds. Pip stands at the water's edge, his face a canvas of apprehension and nostalgia. His gaze sweeps across the vast expanse, a silent trigger to a cascade of memories. The marshes whisper secrets of the past, each ripple reflecting a forgotten moment. A profound stillness settles as Pip confronts the echoes of what once was. The setting sun casts an ethereal glow, illuminating the weight of Pip's reflections. A single ray of sunlight cuts through the oppressive gloom, revealing dust motes swirling in the stagnant air of Miss Havisham's room. Miss Havisham stands frozen, a spectral vision in her aged wedding dress, the yellowed lace clinging to her gaunt frame. Cobwebs hang like ghostly shrouds over the decaying wedding feast, a petrified cake its tragic centerpiece. Time itself seems to have died in this room, a monument to a heartbreak that never healed, a wedding that never was. Dim streetlights cast long, ominous shadows as Pip walks alone, unaware of the danger lurking just behind him. A shadowy figure lurks, always just out of sight, maintaining a constant, menacing presence behind Pip. The air crackles with a sense of impending danger, a silent threat closing in on Pip with every step. Unseen eyes watch, and the figure remains hidden, a predator patiently stalking its prey in the night. In a cramped room at Barnard's Inn, Pip thrashes, a sheen of sweat under the pale moonlight. Moonlight paints the grimy window, revealing Pip's silent scream as the nightmare unfolds. His face contorts, a mask of terror as the marshes rise again in his tormented mind. Lost in the clutches of the past, Pip mumbles, a prisoner of his haunting memories. In a London park, bathed in sunlight, Pip scatters breadcrumbs, a sense of peace washing over him as he connects with nature. A flurry of wings and soft chirps fills the air as birds gather around Pip, their vibrant presence briefly lifting his spirits. Pip's face softens, a rare moment of quiet solace found in the simple act of feeding the birds. Lost in the moment, the bustling city fades away as Pip finds comfort in the gentle company of his feathered friends. Sunlight illuminates Mr. Jagger's office. Rows of books stand like silent sentinels, guarding secrets within their leather spines. Mr. Jaggers, imposing and sharp, watches the new client with an intensity that could cut glass. The client shifts nervously, a small figure dwarfed by the massive mahogany desk and Jagger's presence. A palpable tension hangs in the air, thick with unspoken questions and the weight of future dealings. Inside Wemmick's castle, anticipation hangs heavy as he approaches a miniature cannon, fuse in hand, readying for ignition. A sudden flash of light erupts as the fuse meets flame, igniting the cannon. A deafening bang shatters the silence, smoke billowing dramatically from the tiny cannon's mouth. The echoes of the blast reverberate through the miniature castle, shaking its foundation. Wemmick turns, his face alight with childlike glee, the thrill of the explosion evident in his wide grin. His eyes sparkle with mischievous delight, reveling in the explosive spectacle he has created. Pip sits by the riverbank, sunlight dappling through the leaves, his young face turned towards the endless flow. His legs dangle freely over the edge, a silent invitation to the waters below. Boats glide past, their sails billowing like dreams on the horizon. Each vessel sparks a flicker of longing in Pip's eyes, a silent yearning for faraway land. The river whispers tales of adventure, and Pip listens with rapt attention, his heart set on the horizon. On the grand stage, a lone actor commands attention, bathed in a warm spotlight. His voice, rich and resonant, fills the majestic theatre, each word a deliberate stroke of emotion. Every gesture is measured, precise, drawing the audience deeper into his world. Faces in the crowd reflect a symphony of emotions, each captivated by the unfolding drama. Joy, sorrow, wonder. The actor's performance evokes a profound connection. Sunlight paints dust motes dancing in Barnard's Inn, illuminating Pip hunched over a scarred table. His brow furrows with intense focus as his quill scratches across the parchment. Carefully, deliberately, he forms each word, pouring his heart onto the page. "My dearest Joe," he begins, the ink reflecting the light. He pauses, gathering his thoughts to express the depth of his feelings. "I hope this letter finds you well. I wanted to express my deepest gratitude." London docks buzz with activity as sailors orchestrate cargo loading, their movements a dance of muscle and sea. Ropes groan under immense weight, a symphony of labor echoing through the air, thick with salt and the promise of distant shores. Towering masts reach skyward, their shadows stretching across the bustling scene below. Awaiting the call of the open sea, ships loom large, their hulls weathered by countless voyages. The scent of far-off lands mingles with the briny air, a tantalizing invitation to adventure and the unknown. Each creak and strain tells a tale of journeys past and the anticipation of voyages yet to come. The London coffee shop buzzes. The rich scent of roasted coffee hangs in the air, mixing with the murmur of hushed conversations. Sunlight floods through the large windows, illuminating dust motes that dance in golden rays, a stark contrast to the city outside. Pip, young and observant, sits at a corner table, his fingers idly tracing patterns on a lukewarm latte. His notebook lies open, filled with sketches, a testament to his restless mind. The clatter of ceramic mugs and the soft hum of voices form a symphony of urban life around him. Distracted, Pip's gaze drifts toward the next table, his curiosity piqued by the unfolding drama of strangers. Under the dim glow of a London streetlight, a lone musician stands, his figure silhouetted against the dark. His old worn guitar gleams faintly, a silent testament to countless nights and untold stories. The melancholic tune begins, each note a whisper carried on the night air through empty streets. The music echoes, a poignant soundtrack to the quiet solitude of the London night. Each chord resonates with a deep, unspoken longing, filling the void with heartfelt melody. Sunlight floods the London library, illuminating countless books. Pip sits surrounded by texts, lost in the labyrinth of history. Wooden tables groan under the weight of London's past. Maps spread out like a puzzle. Pip runs a hand through his hair, a picture of concentration as he tries to piece together fragments of the city's story. His brow furrows in frustration, the weight of untold stories pressing down on him. The library stands as a silent witness, its ancient walls echoing with the whispers of bygone eras. Amidst rolling hills, Pip sets up his canvas, ready to capture nature's grandeur. Sunlight drenches the idyllic countryside, a perfect day for plein air painting. With focused intensity, Pip begins to paint, his brush dancing across the canvas. Each stroke brings the landscape to life, mirroring the serene beauty around him. The vibrant colors blend, creating a vivid representation of the natural world. Pip steps back, admiring his work, a satisfied smile gracing his lips. Amidst the forge's fiery glow, Joe stands firm, hammer raised, ready to shape destiny with each calculated strike. Sparks erupt in a dazzling dance as the hammer meets steel, a testament to Joe's focused power and artistry. With each echoing clang, Joe's dedication reverberates through the forge, shaping not just metal but also his fate. The horseshoe takes form under Joe's skillful hands, a symbol of enduring strength and relentless effort. Sweat glistens on his brow as Joe pours his heart into the craft, his spirit forged in the same fire as the metal. The forger's heart beats in rhythm with Joe's hammer, a symphony of fire, skill, and unwavering resolve. Sunlight floods the schoolhouse, illuminating dust motes swirling in the air. Biddy, a kind woman in her late 20s, sits surrounded by eager students. Her eyes sparkle as she holds up a worn storybook, ready to begin. And so, the brave knight ventured into the dark forest, she reads aloud, his sword gleaming in the dappled light. Biddy continues, her voice full of animation. The children listen intently, their imaginations ignited by Biddy's storytelling. Golden sunlight bathes the village, awakening its vibrant heart. Children's laughter echoes, a symphony of pure, unbridled joy. Small figures dart between houses, their games weaving through the streets. Dust dances underfoot as they chase each other, spirits soaring high. A carefree world unfolds, painted with the innocence of youth. The village pulses with life, a vibrant tapestry of childhood dreams. Sunlight streams through stained glass windows, illuminating the sanctuary in vibrant hues. A choir stands in robes, their faces serene, voices raised in harmonious praise. The soaring melody of the hymn fills the church, echoing off the ancient stone walls. Light catches the dust motes dancing in the air, swirling in time with the music. Each note resonates with devotion, creating a palpable sense of peace and reverence. The collective voices rise higher, a powerful expression of faith and unity. As dusk descends, a bird soars freely, its silhouette a stark symbol against the fading light. The marshes stretch out, an endless expanse under the vast, darkening sky. Shadows lengthen, painting the landscape with mystery as day transitions into night. A sense of solitude permeates the scene, emphasizing the bird's solitary journey. The air grows still, carrying whispers of the wild and the promise of untold stories. Dusty sunlight filters through the grimy windows of Miss Havisham's room, illuminating a scene frozen in time. A wedding dress, once pristine, now hangs in tatters, a ghostly shroud in the decaying room. The decayed fabric whispers tales of a love betrayed and a heart irrevocably shattered. Each torn piece of lace and faded silk serves as a stark reminder of a day that never came. The dress stands as a haunting symbol of Miss Havisham's eternal sorrow. Rain-slicked streets reflect the neon glow of London at night, each puddle mirroring the city's hidden shadows. A lone figure emerges from the darkness, his silhouette elongated and distorted by the dim, watchful streetlights. His eyes dart from face to face, a predator's gaze assessing each passer-by with calculating precision. Each footstep echoes in the night, a subtle drumbeat of anticipation as he stalks his unsuspecting prey. The air thickens with a sense of unease, the city's pulse quickening with the hunter's silent approach. London holds its breath, unaware of the drama unfolding beneath its veil of rain and shadows. Inside Barnard's Inn, Pip's restless sleep is a battleground of guilt, his brow furrowed in a silent storm. Tossing and turning, his breath hitches, each exhale heavy with unspoken regrets. The weight of his actions manifests in the subtle tremors of his brow. Sleep offers no escape, only a deeper descent into the shadows of his conscience. Each movement is a testament to the inner turmoil that haunts his waking and dreaming hours. Sunlight dapples through the trees of a London park, casting shadows on the path where lovers walk hand in hand. Pip sits alone on a weathered park bench, his gaze following the couple with a melancholic intensity. A wistful expression etches across his face, a silent yearning for the simple joy of companionship. His eyes reflect a deep longing, a palpable desire for the warmth and connection he observes from afar. The laughter of the couple echoes softly, a poignant reminder of what Pip lacks in this moment. He sighs, a subtle gesture revealing the weight of his solitude amidst the bustling life of the park. Inside Mr. Jagger's office, sunlight streams through the window, illuminating motes of dust dancing in the air. Mr. Jagger's, a figure of intense focus, his brow furrowed in concentration, examines a piece of evidence. The object, small and seemingly insignificant, becomes the focal point of his piercing gaze. His fingers trace the contours of the evidence, each movement precise, each touch deliberate. The air crackles with unspoken questions as Mr. Jagger's mind dissects every detail, searching for the truth. Sunlight bathes Wemmick's castle as he kneels in his garden, a smudge of dirt on his cheek and a peaceful smile on his face. He delicately prunes a rose bush, finding solace among the vibrant colors of his flowers and vegetables. The quirky charm of Wemmick's castle is amplified by the simple joy he finds in nurturing his little paradise. A moment of serene contentment washes over Wemmick as he tends to his garden, a sanctuary from the world's chaos. Under the vast sky, Pip stands by the river, a solitary figure burdened by pent-up emotions. With a surge of force, he hurls a stone into the flowing river, a gesture of release and silent frustration. The stone pierces the water's surface, creating ripples that mirror the turmoil within him. The river absorbs the stone, carrying away a fragment of Pip's inner struggle. Pip watches the water, hoping the river will wash away the emotional burden he carries. The velvet curtain falls, a heavy hush descending as the final applause fades into memory. Thick folds of the curtain obscure the stage, swallowing the vibrant energy of the performance. As the lights dim, long shadows stretch across the empty stage, hinting at untold stories. The air is thick with the scent of old wood and lingering perfume, a ghostly echo of the night. Silence permeates the theatre, broken only by the occasional creak of settling wood. An empty stage awaits its next act, bathed in the soft glow of the emergency lights. Inside Barnard's Inn, sunlight streams as Pip meticulously packs, preparing for his long-awaited journey. Each item placed in his worn bag holds the weight of anticipation and a touch of trepidation. The room is filled with a quiet energy. Anticipation hangs heavy in the air. He pauses, a thoughtful expression crossing his face, imagining the bustling streets of Cairo. With a resolute nod, Pip zips up his bag, sealing his fate and embracing the unknown. Cairo awaits, promising adventure, challenges, and a transformation he cannot yet foresee. On the bustling London docks, a grand sailing ship towers, its masts reaching for the sky. Pip steps onto the deck, the salty air filling his lungs with the promise of adventure. Sailors rush past, their movements a symphony of controlled chaos as they prepare to set sail. The scent of tar and brine hangs heavy in the air, a tangible reminder of the journey ahead. A new chapter begins for Pip, the vast ocean stretching before him like an unwritten story. He stands at the ship's rail, the city receding behind him as he embraces the unknown. Sunlight bathes the London coffee shop, filling it with warmth as Pip smiles, his eyes reflecting genuine affection. The rich aroma of coffee intertwines with the murmur of voices, creating a vibrant, comforting atmosphere. Pip's tender gaze focuses on Herbert, a silent promise hanging in the air between them. "I promise to stay in touch, Herbert," Pip says, his voice sincere amidst the cafe's gentle chaos. Dust motes dance in sunlit shafts, underscoring the heartfelt connection between the two men. Pip stares back at London, its lights blurring in the distance, a mix of hope and regret swirling within him. The city shimmers, a beacon of dreams, yet a reminder of past disappointments. Each glimmering light seems to whisper tales of ambition and loss. His silhouette stands against the urban sprawl, a solitary figure amidst a sea of stories. The cold night air carries the scent of rain and unspoken promises. Sunlight streams into the London Library, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air as Pip closes the ancient tome. Determination hardens his features, etched with the resolve to confront what lies ahead. His fingers linger on the leather-bound cover, a silent farewell to the world within its pages. He rises, casting a long shadow that stretches across the room, symbolic of the journey about to begin. With a resolute stride, Pip turns his back on the familiar, ready to face the unknown future. Bathed in sunlight, Pip grins, his eyes reflecting the boundless sky above. He inhales deeply, the scent of wild flowers and fresh earth filling his lungs. Golden fields stretch before him, whispering secrets in the gentle breeze. A sense of serenity washes over him, a moment of pure, unadulterated joy. Pip embraces the beauty of the countryside, his heart overflowing with gratitude. Sunlight streams into the blacksmith's forge, illuminating Joe as he raises his hammer high, muscles tense and ready. Sparks fly as the hammer meets the metal, a testament to Joe's unwavering strength. The rhythmic clang of metal on metal echoes through the forge, a symbol of Joe's enduring spirit. Sweat glistens on Joe's brow as he shapes the metal, his focused gaze reflecting years of hard work. Inside the schoolhouse, Biddy's gentle smile radiates a quiet serenity, her eyes reflecting years of wisdom. A wave of contentment washes over her as she watches Pip, her gaze filled with affection and understanding. Her eyes glint with the satisfaction of seeing Pip finally find peace in his heart and purpose. The warm light of the schoolhouse embraces Biddy, highlighting her serene presence. Time seems to slow as Biddy observes Pip, a silent guardian of his new-found tranquility. As dusk descends, Pip and Estella are silhouetted against the ancient stones, the graveyard air thick with unspoken emotions. The setting sun casts long, dramatic shadows around them, painting the somber landscape with hues of fading light. Their eyes meet, a silent bridge of understanding forming across the years of separation and regret. A shared sense of hope flickers between them, a fragile flame ignited in the twilight of past sorrows. Forgiveness hangs in the air, a quiet promise whispered among the tombstones as they stand side by side.